Welcome into another KSR Happy Hour, a new Monday tradition around here as the KSR website crew. We kind of rotate panelists. We've had 3 so far, might go to 4 next week. We're kind of learning on the fly, but it's a new weekly tradition, Mondays at 4 o'clock, presented by Country Boy Brewing as Zach is modeling a Country Boy there. Jack, did I see you had one too?
The first sip. We're going to get first sip live reaction.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Go ahead and get in there. The new Country Boy Light, 95 calories, 1.8 carbs.
I'm a fan. I like that a lot, actually. I got 2 of them for the show, so hopefully we go long. We're ready. We're good.
Well, I'm not crazy like you guys. I'm drinking a tea.
Ooh.
Tea in a Country Boy glass. Got the hat. I'm doing the best Country Boy I can. But as always, we're happy to be sponsored by them. I can't just be drinking on Mondays like you guys, because I emptied my fridge yesterday.
What are you talking about?
It's a happy hour. I thought that's what we're doing this for.
Well, cooking on Mother's Day, I got into the beer fridge a little bit, and when I went to get one for this show, I was completely empty. So blame Sunday for me not having one on Monday happy hour. But it's good to be here with you guys. Kind of feels like a rapid reaction. Got Jack and Zach. I was out last week, but Zach, you did this last week, right, with Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler and Nick. We had a blast. We did Derby talk, and what else we talked about? NBA playoffs, lots of things. I think that was the day that Reese Potter committed, actually. So we had some Potter talk.
Yeah, well, you're a good happy hour pro, and I think this is Jack's debut. He was on vacation last week. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But if you haven't tuned in before, as I said, this is the 3rd edition. We'll be doing this every Monday around 4 o'clock as we all wind down from Mondays. Everybody gets the case of the Mondays a little bit, so we gave you something to tune into. Even if you're at work, we won't tell your boss. It's fine. Just put that spreadsheet aside, hang out with us. We'll kind of run down weekend news and preview the week ahead. And that's what we'll start with here today. It was a big weekend in Lexington, as you can see on our fancy timeline Steven has built for us. Ooh. Steven killing it with the graphics game. Also, Steven, before we get into this says subscribers 49.0K. We're that close to 50?
Inching closer and closer.
Yeah, I guess Steven can't talk.
We're that close.
Oh, we gotta get to 50. Probably won't happen during this show, but by the end of the week, tell your friends, tell your family, create new accounts, do everything you can. So next Monday we'll have 50 subscribers. But thanks to the 49K already and the people joining us on the live chat, be sure to hit us up there. Julie asks if Tyler is in Ireland. Yes, Tyler is in Ireland. She'll be back next week. Someone asked
if they saw. I've got a note on that real quick.
Yeah, have at it.
So Tyler sent me a couple of pictures from Ireland. Guess what she saw? My last name on written in the Guinness factory. Yes, apparently the Gagan brothers back in the 1700s had a I don't remember exactly what it said, but they have some history in the Guinness lore of it all being created. So shout out to the Gagans from 300 years ago, making me proud today as I drink Country Boy.
You'll have to get a week off and go back to the homeland, see the old place when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Right now you got Country Boy. That's better than Guinness. Maybe one day and decades from now, there'll be a Country Boy big ancient building with our names on it. Maybe centuries from now. We're paving the way now. Let's go and get started with our topics. Turns out UK baseball headed towards the postseason. Hopefully, knock on wood. Still got to finish the week. But a huge weekend at Kentucky Proud Park, the final home SEC series. They hosted number 14 Oklahoma, needing to win at least 2 games, and they did even better than that, sweeping Oklahoma, including Friday night going against a top 10 pick in the MLB draft coming up, one of the best pitchers in all of college baseball. Got the dub there. They went on to Saturday, where Marlena Van Hoos sang the national anthem before Senior Day, won that one. And then on Sunday, win again. They did not trail after any inning. They went down in the top of an inning, would answer right back in all 3 games. So an absolute whooping there by the Batcats when they needed it the most. Tomorrow they'll play Northern Kentucky. As long as you win that one, it shouldn't affect the resume too much. They won't give you a good boost, but a loss could be pretty detrimental. And then they go to Vandy in the final weekend series before the SEC tournament. Zach, you were on website duty Friday night. You kind of wrote about Game 1. I don't know if you kept up with it throughout the weekend. It was busy times, but were you excited about the Batcats defending home field and putting themselves in good standing?
Well, I did notice, while I was doing my little recap that, their top 10 MLB pick, the pitcher is I think the mock I was looking at had him 8 or 9 or something. And Kentucky poured on, I think, all 4 of their runs in the bottom of some hitting 3rd or 4th inning or something like that, all 4 runs to kind of push him out of the game. So that was pretty cool to see. Yeah, I know Daniel Hager just released a little update on the website, basically saying that Kentucky's firmly in the mix right now for the NCAA tournament. It definitely felt like they were on the outside looking in going into that weekend, and now they've got the game tomorrow against NKU. I don't know if the weather is going to behave for that game to end up playing. So that would actually be fine if that game gets canceled, because then you don't want to lose and potentially mess up your resume even more. So then just go and maybe steal a game off Vandy. I don't know if Vandy's any good, or they usually are. So maybe they're that'll be a nice little resume add if they can add a win or maybe steal the series from that one as well. But yeah, Batcats are 2 weeks ago, they were dead in the water. Then now here we are talking about back in the tournament. He's pretty comfortably right now, it feels like. So shout out to them. I didn't keep up with Saturdays and Sundays game though. I'll admit that.
There's only been one new bracketology since the weekend, and it's, of course, from On3, the hardest working company in show business. On3 has them going out to Oregon State, which, with the radio show, we were talking about driving to the first round. I don't know if we'll drive to Oregon State, but it had them in the 3 seed there playing against TCU. So that's the first bracketology since the weekend. And Vandy is ranked 9th. So pretty good Vandy team. Jack, I don't know if you saw it, but Vandy beat Tennessee, and then Tennessee just decided to fight them after the game.
I did not see that.
I saw that an hour before I got on, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. Didn't seem like that. There wasn't a lot of talking. I mean, the Vandy pitcher kind of gave a good fist bump, typical celebration. Next thing you know, we had benches clear. It's just typical Tennessee behavior.
Classic.
But no, we're proud of the Batcats. Again, Northern Kentucky tomorrow night in the final home game, if it happens. Zach's been watching the weather report, so it sounds like it might not happen, which wouldn't be the worst. Then you got to go on to beat Vandy. But also from the weekend, UK graduation. First of all, shout out to KSR's graduates before we get to some of the other stars that walk the stage.
Speaking of Daniel Hager.
Daniel, I invited Daniel to join us today to talk graduation and baseball, but he's busy moving quickly from his college career. We also had Katie and Eleanor Bevan graduated. So 3 KSR graduates, Katie Hutchinson, who covers UK women's basketball, and then Eleanor, who covers softball, former volleyball star, Eleanor. So congrats to our
multi-sport athlete.
Yeah, I'm not forgetting anyone there, right? It was just those 3. I don't want to leave anyone out.
Those 3, yeah.
Perfect. So we're proud of them. Saw pictures from them. Looked like they had a big weekend, including Daniel gave a little, I don't know what this was.
Yeah.
Got video of that, but whatever. Do what you got to do on stage, Daniel. We're proud of you. Did a great job covering baseball this year, and still a lot to go on that. But also some big names, Jack, from Kentucky basketball and football, including one Rajon Rondo. You might be one of his biggest fans. What did you think about Rajon Pierre Rondo Sr. getting called out and walking the stage 20 years after he played basketball?
The reason I'm a Boston Celtics fan. Go Celtics, by the way. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, really cool. Just a guy who doesn't really need his degree. He has more money than he'll ever need. He has all the lifetime basketball accolades he'll never ever need. He's at a point in his career where he could just do anything, but goes out of his way to get a diploma from his alma mater, from the University of Kentucky. Just really cool, just kind of full circle moment for him. But I think even bigger, I think it's important as the coaching rumblings kind of ramp up with him and him wanting to explore those routes. He needs a college degree if he wants to coach in the college ranks at all. I know he's been with the Milwaukee Bucks, is kind of a player development kind of guy. So it just opens the door for him if he does want to, kind of just jump into the coaching ranks at college level or whatever level. So it's very, very cool, just a step forward for him that probably unnecessary for a guy of his caliber. But hey, I'll always support a former Celtic getting a degree from the University of Kentucky.
My favorite part of that, he's a tough guy. Rondo can be a little hard, but when they showed him on the live stream and he kind of stopped for 3 seconds to pose, he had the smile of like a kindergartner going through their first graduation. You could just tell how happy he was, Zach, to finally get that diploma. He wasn't trying to be too cool or didn't act like the famous guy in the room. He was just as excited as any of the others to walk that stage.
Yeah, I guess when you have all the money in the world, what else is there to do but go back to UK and get your degree and walk across the stage there? It was pretty cool. We also had who else? Ainsley Almanor.
Yeah,
we saw him across. Kerr Kriisa, which everything Kerr does is just funny to me. Whether it's unintentional or not, but yeah, the way he spun the ball to have the elite point out and then he gave a little smile. Maybe he did that for Steven, just to kind of be like, hey, I like the elite ball, not the Evo. Maybe that was a little nod to you, Stephen Peak. But yeah, it was really cool to see all our guys go across. Chris Westry as well, another former guy. I don't remember. That was like 10 years ago. It feels like Chris Westry was here and he graduated as well. So good for him.
I was a little disappointed in Rupp Arena. Obviously, Rondo got a big pop. It was complete silence when Chris Westry rocked that stage. I mean, not even a single clap. I was at home clapping on the couch watching the live stream. So do better, Rupp Arena. It's pretty cool. He played 5 years in the league, comes back, gets his degree. There were several other UK football players. Some of the basketball players, I believe Andrew Carr, Lamont Butler, they're obviously busy. We'll get to them in just a minute. But I believe it was just Kerr, Almanor, and can't forget Grant Derbyshire, I guess.
Oh, also, yeah. They sat together. Ansley and Grant Derbyshire sat together at graduation. I thought that was kind of cute.
I heard Rondo was directly behind our guy Daniel all day, too. I'm surprised he didn't get a selfie. So
yeah.
It'd be pretty cool seating assignment. If you're going to be there for a couple of hours, might as well sit by a two-time NBA champ. Did both of you walk at UK? I know we're all three UK grads. Any stories from your time there, either of you? Of the graduation, not at UK. I don't confess what you did at UK, but just
no. I remember my graduation. I remember walking across the stage. And I remember because I'm in the G's, obviously. So I remember once I came back to my seat and I started waiting. And once we got to the M's, I started seeing other people around me start to leave. So I left as well. So sorry to the ins and beyond. I did not watch you cross the stage in 2018, I guess it was. But I don't really remember much from that day, to be honest with you, other than actually shaking, or maybe I shook hands with Capelito. I honestly don't know.
If I remember correctly, I graduated the same day Brad Calipari did, and I remember that kind of being a big deal where like Cal was there. It was like all of Ellen, the whole family was there celebrating Brad, and I'm just there like, me too. I'm
You're gonna grow to hate me.
He has blocked me on Twitter, by the way, just in case you guys are curious. Yeah.
Ouch. I've noticed I just happened to do some Brad Twitter stalking. Actually, it was just last night. I saw he's been blocking quite a few people. So I hate that relationship is great. Your graduation buddies. How long did it feel like you had to wait to be in the P's? You're way back there, Jack.
It's weird. I don't remember that day really at all. I think there was just so much excitement of like Daniel said, there's such an overlap of like, okay, you're getting your diploma now. You got to get the hell out. You got to pack up all your bags. I think it's just kind of just this all-out sprint that whole weekend. So yeah, I do think in communications major. I mean, there were 10,000 people there. It's all such a blur. I was just excited for the aftermath of it, just to say I got my very expensive piece of paper and got out of there.
I don't think they do it by name anymore. I think they do it differently. Like it's not like in alphabetical order. That's what someone was telling me over the weekend, because my sister was in town. She knew some people that were graduating and they do it differently now. So I don't know if it's like you have to sit there and wait, or you just like kind of get your degree, however they call it, and then you just go. So times have changed.
Random drawing. I watched a lot of it. Now that you mention it, they weren't in alphabetical order because I was trying to find Rondo and it just popped up out of nowhere. I've been asked to read the names at UK graduation.
I saw that, and I don't.
That was
a
no.
I actually want to know how that happened.
Well, my wife is kind of the head of commencement. She spends all year getting ready for that event, and I think they got really far down the list one year, and we're like, "Hey, would Drew do it?" But that's a serious moment. I would take it seriously.
Across the stage.
Well, there's a lot of names that I would struggle with, and I would honestly take it seriously because that is their big day. I mean, it would take a lot of studying, but I feel like I'd get halfway through it and I'd start nicknaming people that not even nicknames that they have. I just don't know. I'm never serious, and you have to be serious for several hours there. So I just feel like I think Carl Nathy did it this year. Good job, Carl. We'll leave it there. But notice I was looking at our chat. Hit us up over there. Lots of people wanting Rondo to come be on Pope's staff one day, Jack. Could you see that on down the road?
It's so sad about just how close we were to seeing both Tyler Ulis and Rajon Rondo on the same staff under Cal. And for this reason, that's why I brought it up, that he didn't meet the qualifications with not being able to, not having the diploma to be the graduate assistant, couldn't be the student man. It was just kind of one of those, didn't have the qualifications to be on staff at the time, and they wanted it. Both sides wanted it, and I just think it was just a little bit too much to overcome. So being in this spot now, it just, hey, why not? If you have a two-time world champion and NBA All-Star and defensive player of the year, like just who else would you want to lead the next generation of point guards than Rajon Rondo. So like, if I'm Mark Pope, I'm that's the first call I'm making.
Before we get to our next NBA topic, and I'm sure Zach can't wait to delay this. He does not want to see this on the list. Let me shout out the 3rd annual Woodford Legends Invitational at the Woodford Club in Versailles. It's coming up on Saturday and Sunday, June 7th and 8th, with a week-long schedule of events for the whole family. Take everybody. I think kids get to go free. Adult tickets are $15 for the tournament, but the fun starts on Tuesday. It's a unique 2-woman team format. Former LPGA stars, including Hall of Famer Julie Inkster, Pat Bradley, Laura Davies, a lot of familiar names. If you follow golf, you can get your tickets at the woodfordclubfoundation.org/tickets. That's woodfordclubfoundation.org/tickets. That's coming up June 7th and 8th at the Woodford Club in Versailles. It's going to be a really fun tournament and really a very inexpensive way to go have fun. Hopefully they get some good weather. Take the whole family out there, enjoy the lead up or enjoy the golf. As I said, a lot of familiar names if you've kept up with the LPGA over the years. Some Hall of Famers in the group have done some big things. So check them out. We appreciate them sponsoring us here. We'll keep reminding you of that event and hope to see you out there in Versailles. It should be a fun one. What's not going to be a fun one is when the Cavs play another basketball game. Zach is our resident Cavs fan. Best record in the East, 1 seed. Just what's going on, man? You want to talk about it? You all right? You good?
Yeah, I feel like the Hawks team from a decade ago that I used to make fun of relentlessly. That's kind of the situation we're in right now. But here's what I'll say about this. I hate the Pacers. I don't like the Pacers at all, actually. I never had a vendetta against the Pacers. I wonder if Brandon Ramsey's watching this because we have a little group chat going with Steven and I where Zoom action, shout out, where we just kind of go back and forth. But he's a big Pacers fan. He was actually at the game. I am starting to really dislike the Pacers. Benedict Mathurin is a kind of a bum, like an annoying little scrub who thinks he can, he's like the fake tough guy thing. So I hate him. I'm glad that he got ejected for a reason he probably shouldn't have gotten ejected. But Tyrese Halliburton, I hate him. Game 2 is really what screwed the Cavs. They should have won that one. They got screwed over. Injuries have just absolutely tore this entire team down. They were healthy all season long. Then the playoffs start and everyone gets injured. Donovan Mitchell was in a walking boot or something in the second half of last night's game, which I actually stopped watching about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. I was texting with Jack. But Jack's kind of in a similar situation as well with his poopy Celtics team. So we can talk about them if we want.
No. They still have a pulse. They still have life. Your team is fried.
Yeah, well, their team's not injured. My team's relentlessly injured up and down. Darius Garland's bouncing around on one toe. But last night's game was actually probably one of the most frustrating basketball. So when we cover Kentucky games, it's different. Because, the second the game ends, I'm writing the recap. I'm spending the next 5 hours writing about what we just saw. So there's not enough time to, sit there and grieve about it. But when the Cavs are down by 41 points in the second quarter, I have nothing else to do but just sit there and stew in it or either turn it off and go. I got actually so mad to the point in game 2 that I had to kind of take myself away from the TV and remove myself from reality for an hour because I was so upset about it. That never happens with Kentucky games. But this one, it's been frustrating to watch. I hate being the better team that just kind of gets your ass kicked over and over again. They dominated in game 3, so I was like, oh, all right, this is where the Cavs are going to be. We're going to bounce back in game 4. I was texting Jack. I was like, oh, we're both winning these series in 6 games, blah, blah, blah. And now they're down 3-1. But, hey, I will remind people of a little-known series 9 years ago. Cleveland Cavaliers were down 3-1. I understand the rosters look a little bit different.
Wait, who was on that team? I'm just curious.
I understand the rosters looked a little bit different in that series, but I'm just saying it has happened before. The Cavs have actually, I think over the franchise history, they have 3 comebacks of 3-1 or 3 comebacks of 2-0 as well, something like that. So I'm not saying it's impossible. If everyone comes back, we get some healthy. If the guys actually look like they want to play basketball on Wednesday, I think the next game is Wednesday. If they want to actually look like they want to play basketball, then hey, maybe the Cavs can come back, win 3 games. Let's just get it back let's get a game 7 in Cleveland and see what happens. But yes, I hate it a lot actually because it's a lot different than watching Kentucky basketball.
I feel like you talked yourself into it there for a moment. You kind of were getting some confidence.
No. It's stupid. Donovan Mitchell could score 60 points and the Cavs are still gonna throw away. I mean, they had if he's playing,
isn't he hurt now?
He's hurt now too. So
how do you get hurt in warm-ups?
That one was a little frustrating, yes. Maybe that was more of a, hey, like, let's make up an excuse so you don't have to come back in this game and we can just cruise on to game 5 and hope that we can bounce back then. So let's talk about the Celtics, please.
Yeah, at least you have a stress-free night. Here in a few hours, Jack's Boston Celtics have to go into the hostile environment known as Madison Square Garden. I know they just won there, but the Celtics could go down 3-1 tonight, Jack. How you feeling?
I'm praying on it.
Hostile. It's Jack Nicholson's corpse sitting courtside. Like, come on, man. Like, so Spike Lee, what's he gonna do? We saw how just blown out of proportion that. Oh man, we're gonna go up 3-0 first game, kick their ass. It was amazing. I feel like I'm in that very awkward because like, the scripts of both of our games have been identical. Like, Zach has been like consoling Zach during his down times, and then we do the exact same thing the next day. So I've really like treaded lightly with how to navigate this game, knowing that they got blown out in historic proportion last night. So I'm very nervous. I've been a nervous wreck all day. This team drives me crazy, man. Like, they're so talented, the most expensive roster ever put together in NBA history, and they just manage to play with their food every single night. They get up 20 points and they're like, we got it. Let's punt to the next game, and then they blow it, or it gets way too tight, and we win on a last second shot or whatever. They're the most frustrating team I've ever seen. For as good as they are, I'm so irrationally angry watching them play. So I hope
that's what happens when you have a fake superstar,
dude. And this is what I get for signing up for a team that is head coached by Joe Mazzulla, that the superstar is Jason Tatum. The next superstar is the guy that turned down Kentucky in dramatic fashion during his recruitment. Like, it's just Al Horford. Like, just go down a list. It has gotten better because we got rid of Grant Williams, got rid of Terry Rozier, some of those other, unfortunate rivals for us, but like, it's like the anti-Kentucky team. It's my fault. I deserve this for signing up for it, but hey, we got a world championship last year, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah. It just hit me. I should have planned better. On the other side of this wall, I have not just a Pacers t-shirt, a Knicks t-shirt. I should have dressed better to really rub it in on you too. Grew up a big Reggie Miller fan, and then for some reason, when there was like 7 Kentucky people on the Knicks just a few years ago, I got on board with them, even though they were a rival of the Pacers growing up. I should have prepared better, really trolled you all. But Zach, not your team so much, but I do think Jack's team bounces back, does well. You mentioned Randall. He's fresh off a triple-double. He's in the second game tonight as they're out in Golden State trying to go up 3-1. No Steph again. Wolves should be in good shape in that one. We also have the NBA lottery tonight, one of the dumbest thing in sports, but I will probably tune in. We have Utah, Washington, and Charlotte all have the same odds for the number 1 pick, which will almost certainly mean Cooper Flagg. He'd fit in Utah for obvious reasons. Charlotte's Duke's backyard. Washington, I'm sure they embrace him. You all have any picks or any places you want Cooper Flagg to go? I know we're not fans of him, but anything to drum up interest in the lottery, or is it just going to be kind of meh?
Not San Antonio. Anybody but San Antonio. I need him to disappear into oblivion and deal. He needs to go through some hardships. He needs to grow up the hard way in the NBA. I just can't get like him magically falling into a super team from the beginning. That'd just be a disaster. So he needs to go through some tough times.
Yeah, think about him with Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, and Keldon Johnson. That would be nasty.
God no. I can't. We can't have that.
I'm here for it. I'm rig the lottery, Adam Silver, please. Let's do it. I don't want him to go to Utah and waste away, or go to Charlotte where they're just.
That's exactly what we're rooting for.
No, yeah. I'm opposite. I'm
Goodbye.
I'm here for good basketball.
I'm with Jack on send him to Utah. A lot of people in our chat don't like the NBA. It seems. Benjamin says it's garbage. Get to the good stuff. Otis says NBA boring. So I guess we'll tie in the NBA to what we all liked, Kentucky Wildcats. Had the NBA GLeague Camp over the weekend where former Cats Amari Williams, Andrew Carr, Lamont Butler participated, and then a current Cat, Jalen Lowe, the new point guard. He was a big part of it. Lowe had a great Sunday, played well in both scrimmages, had 10 points and then 9 points, had 5 assists in each game, shot 42% from 3. But Jack, I know you were keeping up with it real well. How did the former Cats do? I know Lamont Butler was showing off his hops.
He was great, and then he was a DNP coach's decision in the second game. So I don't know why. Like, he was on the cusp of like, oh, maybe he's going to get one of those call ups to the combine, and they were like, yeah,
maybe that was on purpose. Yeah,
Man, I
That was
don't
a
know.
phone call from the agent saying you've done enough.
Pope made the call, said, "Hey, you're playing a little too well."
But he did not get called up to the combine. So like the combine,
it was all strategically planned. Come on now, keep up.
I don't know. It was just
horse.
It's very. I'll feel a lot better after Jalen Lowe officially announces he's coming back, and like it just kind of feels weird to be like, have Pitt's name next to Jalen Lowe's name.
Yeah.
So like, is he a current Wildcat? Is he a future Wildcat? If he keeps his name in the draft, is he a former Wildcat? Like, I don't know how it works to describe him as, but I like that he played really well. I know Mikhail McLean was in attendance to watch him, and it's just a foregone conclusion that he's returning. But I like seeing our guys perform well on that stage, and I think all of them did something of substance. Whether it was testing really well or performing really well in those games. So I don't know what the NBA future looks like for any of those guys. I think Amari has the best chance of that group to get drafted or at least have a long-term career. But it's I think all eyes are on this week with Otega Oweh, obviously, and obviously we're rooting for Kobe Bryant because he's probably going to be the highest drafted player for Kentucky no matter what. So yeah, all eyes are now on the next phase of the combine up in Chicago, hoping that Otega plays very well, but not well enough to kind of get into that first round guarantee range that we're all watching very closely.
I've seen a lot of Kobe Bryant videos today and over the weekend, building up some hype. His private workouts leading into the combine must be going well, Zach. I think he's on Yahoo's board in the top 50 now, where he wasn't just before the weekend. So he's trending upwards.
Yeah, pretty much every major mock draft you're going to see right now has Kobe in like the 40s to 50s, like that mid to late second round area. But yeah, he is kind of like becoming one of those second round darlings, like guys that just kind of get a lot of publicity going into the draft and everything. So a good week in Chicago for him. He's actually doing the 5-on-5s as well. Him and Otega are both doing the 5-on-5 scrimmages because a lot of guys, you don't have to do that. If you get invited to the NBA Combine, you have to participate, but you don't have to participate in the 5-on-5s. You can just do like workouts and interviews and stuff. So only like 60 of the whatever 100 people ended up doing the 5-on-5s, and Kobe and Otega are two of them because they want to try and boost their stock just a little bit more and get in front of people. So I think a good week from Kobe could actually have him maybe bank, knocking on the door of a first round pick. I don't know. That could be maybe a little bit too much for him, but yeah, he's on people's radars right now. You got to love a 6'7" shooter, and that's what they're looking for in the NBA. So, but yeah, like Jack was saying, Otega, we want him to play well, but like if this is the bar, we want him to be like right here.
Westford Robin, he's on our radar. $5, what we call these, tips? What's it called on YouTube? Super chat.
Called, yeah.
Man, big balling. How do y'all want to split that up?
More of these, please.
Yeah,
thank you.
There you go. 95 calories, 1.8 carbs. Have several if you'd like. How
do they determine the 1.8 carbs, do you think?
That's a good question. That was not in my notes. I can tell you to go to their tap room on Cherry Avenue, or if it's just down the street from KS Bar, or go to KS Bar, or buy them at any of your local stores around Kentucky. Or I like going out to Georgetown. That's a nice spot. And before we came on the live stream here, Zach and I were talking about the new Country Boy pickleball facility coming. So Country Boy's doing big things. They're more than just a happy hour sponsor.
That's gonna be a hot KSR topic on the radio show if it hasn't been already. I don't know if have y'all mentioned that one yet. If not, I can't wait for that day because that'll be a good rant from Matt on that one.
I mentioned it while Matt was gone. I gave it lots of love. I don't know that he will feel the same way, but I've even requested a bedroom there. It's close to my house. Golf simulators, Country Boy tap room. What more could a guy want? We should do one of these happy hours at one of their tap rooms soon. Maybe have Jack come to Lexington and join us, and Steven behind the camera. They can make the trip together. More NBA talk, kind of. Big day for the NBA. Michael Jordan is getting into media. What the hell? You are so rich. This shocked me that Michael Jordan is coming back to be a special contributor to the NBA on NBC coverage. You are a little young, but that was prime NBA. I think it's been 20-something years since the NBA was on the NBC, but that's coming back next season. And today they announced that the GOAT, MJ, is going to be doing media. Did you ever think you'd be in the same industry as Michael Jordan, Jack? I mean, it's basically the same job.
Yes.
Yeah, I could say I'm coworkers with Michael Jordan. So, shout out if you Michael, if you're watching, just if you need advice, tips for doing this on a professional level, just know I got you. Very on the same level of like Rajon Rondo getting his degree, where it's like, do you need it? Do you need to get dip your toes back in the media waters? You are the richest human beings in this field and have accomplished everything you will ever need to accomplish in the basketball world. I would just buy an island and just disappear if I were in Michael Jordan's shoes. But hey, that's why you're MJ and you get to do whatever you want. So I'm interested to see what kind of analysis he's going to be bringing to the table and just how thought provoking he's going to be. I know that the bar is really low with the current state of NBA dialogue. So I don't think he has to do too much to be good at it, but I do wonder just like what's the agenda, like what is the why for him, because I feel like he has everything he could ever possibly dream of. Why does he need to do it?
They can't give him enough money that would change anything. He has like a yacht that costs like $4 billion. He owns an entire NASCAR team. I don't know, his shoe brand makes a few dollars. I can't believe I don't even want to say coming out of retirement. I feel like he's going to pop in like once every 3 months and not even be good at it. But just wild news coming across that he's going to be a contributor to NBA on NBC. Zach, if Jordan was a little before your time, I'm sure you've heard of him. But if you could bring out a retired basketball player to do commentary for NBA, whether it's ESPN, NBC, is there anybody you think you'd want to see try their hand in the booth?
I jokingly said Kyrie Irving just because he's gonna have some Draymond Green level takes that just don't make any sense at all. But I don't really have anyone for that. I was trying to rack my brain and think about like interesting personalities. Like for me personally, like a guy like Anderson Varejao, shout out to the Cavs. Like he was always a fun personality type guy back in the day. He's got a big fro. Like
that blew. What a name drop!
Yeah, I'll pull some.
It's like Drunas Ilgauskas,
Drew Gooden, baby. Yeah, Booby Gibson. Come on, let's bring him back.
Delonte West.
Hey, shout out. Well, Delonte seems to be down on his luck lately.
You could get him very affordably.
Yeah, he'd be cheap. I'd say he might pay you to. But my favorite thing about the Michael Jordan bit is I saw a tweet saying that one of the segments is going to be MJ's gambling corner presented by FanDuel. So I'm looking forward to that one whenever we get Jordan's gambling picks, obviously in jest for that one. But it'll be interesting to see if he's actually any good or not, because the first my mind immediately went to the floor or the roof is the ceiling quote that he had from I think he was doing something with North Carolina. I forget exactly what it was, but he said that the roof is the ceiling, which I mean he's correct, I assume, but I don't really know what the hard hitting analysis is going to be from him. So, and it's also like when you're a player that's that good, like I imagine it's hard to dissect basketball because everyone is just inherently worse than you. So you're like, well, why didn't he just do the play where he brings the ball underneath the backboard to the other side and like lays it in, like what Obi Toppin did yesterday? He literally did a Michael Jordan move yesterday. So that's just a state of where the NBA has come over the last 30 years. But it'll be very interesting to see if Jordan's any good or not, because I have a very sneaky suspicion that he will be terrible at it. So, but Zach, he can be fine with that. He was bad at baseball too.
Did you see on KS Board somebody called him DeMar DeRozan with a gambling problem?
Yeah, I like that one. That's good hating right there. That's top tier hating.
Very good hating.
I do think there's a chance that he just gets on there and says everyone today sucks and they're soft and they couldn't guard him. That would actually be good entertainment for maybe a game or two. Jack, your boy Larry Bird. I know I'm the old guy here bringing up these names, but known as a great trash talker, I wouldn't mind seeing Larry on a broadcast. You got any Celtics legends you'd bring out of retirement to get a call on a game?
Well, we're at Shaq. I mean,
Scalabrine does it right now.
Scalabrine does it for those broadcasts. Delonte West, also Celtics legend. Where we already have
two Delonte West pools in one happy hour on KSR.
I feel like
that'll never happen again.
With Shaq and Delonte, I don't feel like we need anymore.
More big media news. Rich Eisen's going back to ESPN.
Ooh.
That's a pretty big deal. Another from the old days before you all were born. I wish they would give him SportsCenter. He was great on SportsCenter, but if they're just moving over the Rich Eisen show, not even put it on TV, it's just going to be streaming because he's on at the same time as McAfee. Nobody can take down McAfee, but I would definitely watch Rich Eisen over Pat McAfee every single day. That's big news in the media world. So two big stories. Again, our industry. They probably sit around and talk about us. I bet Rich Eisen's like, man, did you see they got Jack and Zach on the happy hour today? That's pretty cool. I'm sure he talked about that a lot. But
Yeah,
that's our
him and
media
Michael
scoop.
Jordan.
Now I'm ready to hear about Jack. You disappeared for a week and you went to the San Diego Zoo. And I am afraid to admit this. I don't think I've ever been to a zoo. I know everyone in the world has been to a zoo. I can't think of a time. We had a class field trip. I was very excited to go. I think we were going to Evansville Zoo in Indiana, and I got sick and I missed it. But I can't really think of any other time I would have gone to a zoo. So, how was your trip to San Diego? Tell what's in a zoo? They got animals?
Whoa.
Sometimes.
How have you never, like, did you have a childhood? Like, I feel like every child in existence has to go to a zoo.
I mean,
Like
I probably popped in one and don't remember when I was little with my parents. I've been to some aquariums. Maybe I'm just more sea than land. I've been to the aquarium in Chicago and the one in Cincinnati. Like I said, I missed my school trip to the zoo. What was you went to the zoo of all zoos out in San Diego? It's like Disney, right?
Oh, buddy, man, that just, yeah, you just broke my 18-month-old son's heart by saying that. So yeah, we got a it was like the city pass where it's an all-inclusive pass where it lets you get into basically all of the things that are going on in San Diego. So we went to the zoo twice, went to the aquariums, went to the safari park, went to Legoland, did all of the tourist nonsense in San Diego. It was amazing, but nothing comes close to the San Diego Zoo. Like it's basically like, again, you haven't been to the Louisville Zoo or anything, so you have no point of reference with this. But the Louisville Zoo is like, okay, like very just like, hey, it's a zoo. It's got some gorillas. It's like that times 100. It's got every single animal but a dozen of them, and the habitats are incredible, and you don't feel. You can kind of gauge how good a zoo is by how bad you feel for the animals. Like if they're locked in a little cage and they're like the monkeys are in jail, you're like, ooh, I feel really, really bad for these animals. You feel good for them when you go to the San Diego Zoo because they're running and playing and having all the meals and food and drinks and water. It's just the best. So I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. We went twice, and it's a thing that you just walk around for miles. We walked 50 miles while we were in San Diego. I never thought that. I did my own Shannon the Dude walk in San Diego, and a lot of those miles came in the San Diego Zoo. So big fan. Would recommend 10 out of 10.
Favorite exhibit?
I've seen. Yeah. What was the best thing you saw?
Ooh.
I would see a gorilla and you were like, man, 100 men could kill
I actually
gorilla.
had that exact conversation several times. And my takeaway was I could kick that gorilla's ass.
Just you?
Yeah, well, just like, you just kind of size him up and you look at it and you're like, man, he's not that big. And if we kind of attack him from different sides, just a couple like me, like this panel right here could, if we attacked it, got our strategies together, I think we could attack them and make it happen. The gorilla exhibit was very, very impressive. There's a whole monkey exhibit where you basically like start at the top of a hill and just kind of wind your way down. And there's just this massive netting above you, and the monkeys just kind of swing above you, and you're like in their own little jungle. It's very impressive, very, 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 very impressive. And if you have not been, not a bad place to start for somebody who's never been to a zoo, Drew.
San Diego's number one on my bucket list. I'm pretty well traveled. I've been blessed to see a lot of cool places. Never done San Diego. Maybe I'll stop by the zoo. My biggest zoo experience is probably like watching Tiger King 10 times. You're telling me it's a little bit better of a setup than what Joe Exotic had, I hope.
Yeah, I was talking about how safe the animals were and all those. That is not what I was talking about. A totally different planet.
You compared it to Louisville. Chad on the chat wants to know how it compares to Cincinnati. Have you been to that one? Just go.
Cincinnati's very good.
We're ranking your zoos.
Again, I have an 18-month-old who is just he's obsessed with it. Like all he does is wake up. He's right now in the other room walking around with a little gorilla animal thing. Like he's obsessed with it. Cincinnati's up there. Cincinnati, in fact, I was at the gorilla exhibit in San Diego, and just by total coincidence, somebody was sitting there talking. He's like, "Hey, do you remember what happened to the Cincinnati Zoo?" And I'm like, "Hey, those are my people." Harambe. Yeah, since go Harambe. Yeah, those are my people. So, Cincinnati known nationwide for a national embarrassment, unfortunately. But yeah, Cincinnati Zoo's very, very good. Very impressive.
We're glad you got to take a little break, get away. It was a long basketball season, longer than you've ever seen. They made it to the second weekend, so much deserved vacation. Zach, have you had any travels coming up before we wrap it up here? Anything fun?
Yeah, actually, I go to Florida later this month for a
Yeah.
wedding, so we'll be there for a few days. Yeah, I don't know if there's any zoos in Sarasota, but I'll go to the ocean. That's nature's zoo, essentially. So
That's my kind of trip. I'm going to DC on Friday, and it's the opening Mystic game. I thought about popping in to see the Georgia Amore debut, but I definitely not now that she's not playing. But I got a little quick trip to our nation's capital coming up this weekend. Looking forward to it. Also looking forward to tomorrow. They sent out white smoke from Memorial Coliseum, and tomorrow we get to hear from Mark Pope. We knew this would come eventually, a little faster than expected. We got the email just a few hours ago. I assume both you guys going?
yeah,
Yes,
and Stephen Peak.
Yep. So we'll do like a rapid reaction. I'm sure he said we had a couple of more additions to add a couple weeks back before we added Reese Potter. So I don't know how that changes. Like, is this this is the roster breakdown? We're going to talk about the 13 guys we have right now, plus minus whatever happens with Ortega, or I'm excited to see if he officially puts says this is all we're adding, or if it's going to be kind of like, yeah, we're going to monitor this and see what happens with reclasses and international kids or whatever.
Do we know if he went to the Colin Chandler wedding? That's another topic we don't have on our graphic here, but it seems like something he would attend. I mean, he travels everywhere.
Well, wasn't the wedding like Thursday morning or something kind of random? Yeah, maybe a difficult time to attend a wedding for, but
I did some research on that because I thought that was very bizarre. I was wondering kind of what Colin was doing. Didn't know if he just got a good discount on the venue or why you would get married on a Thursday morning. But it turns out in the LDS church, that's pretty common. The internet told me several different websites said weekday mornings are when they have weddings because the ceremony's got to be a certain way and the temple they're in might not be open on the weekends and they don't have the same typical reception that we have where you got like Ryan Lemon getting drunk and knocking over tables. So it's pretty common in their religion. But congratulations to Colin and Hannah, right? Got married last Thursday. I'm going to guess Pope was there, and I bet he talks about it tomorrow. And hopefully he'll go.
What does a reception look like in the LDS community? Like, did in your research, did you find that out? Because I was fascinated.
I did. It actually lasts all day, but it's not your typical day. They just hang out, a house party, whatever's going on. They're not doing country boy. There was a lot of that at my wedding, but not there. But just a different experience. But it looked like they went on a cool honeymoon up in a helicopter. He posted about being nervous before he left. So we're going to have a married basketball player on the team next year. Is that going to help his game, Zach, you think?
Maybe. I mean, he locked down his wife, so now he's got to lock down the opponent. I don't know. I can't.
He'll be focused, no distractions.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's going to work out.
Maybe.
We'll have the full report from Mark Pope tomorrow, where hopefully he talks about going to Colin Chandler's wedding, and hopefully he even tells us Ortega Oweh's coming back. I don't expect that, but that'd be fun. But it will be good to hear from Mark Pope. I'm sure he will say things beautiful and incredible. It should be a long interview with him, but stick with KSR tomorrow. And I can't make it over there because they keep scheduling these during the radio show, but you all will have a rapid reaction for us. But we had fun here today on the Happy Hour. Thanks for joining us, guys. This has become a fun little Monday tradition.
Anytime.
Yeah, I almost drank my whole beer. I'll save it for next week. That's good.
Party animal over here. Are you going to save that exact same can for next week? Because we're going to schedule you to be on if that's the case.
Yeah, it's like about here-ish, so I can either finish it now or just save it.
Go ahead and take that out. I'll finish my tea. But thank you all for joining us, everyone in the chat. We got to get to 50,000, so tell your friends. When I come back next Monday, I want to see a brand new graphic with Steven saying 50.0K on there. But thank you all that were already here and commented. Thank you to Country Boy. Be sure to check out the Woodford Legends Invitational in Versailles in June. You can still get your tickets at woodfordclubfoundation.org/tickets. They also do a lot for charity there. It'll be a big event. We appreciate them sponsoring us too. But this is another KSR Happy Hour in the books. Number 3, join us next Monday at 4 o'clock when we do it again and try to distract you from the worst day of the work week. And until then, go Cats.